Hey everybody, it's Mike over at Taxes and Bricks. Welcome to episode 74, and today is Lego Day! Woo! Super excited today because today we're just going to be taking a look at all the architecture sets. They're all done, with the exception of one tiny one, the Billund Airport, which really wasn't a wide-released architecture set. I haven't put it together yet. It doesn't have, I think, the historical significance or the touristy type significance or the architectural significance that some of these other sets are going to have. I mean, you've got some iconic locations across the globe here behind me. And I mean, the Billund Airport, that's important to people in Billund and the Lego Corporation and, me, because I like Lego. But ultimately, people might flock to the Taj Mahal, not so much the Billund Airport. But anyway, got all the sets here. Some of them, I think I mentioned in the past, I've purchased, used. I've purchased some of them, sort of after they've retired. So I've paid sometimes a little bit more than what retail was. And we had this architecture series going earlier in the year, but I kind of decided to can that a little bit and just wait and get all of these done, especially considering the Pyramids of Giza are about to be released here in early August. And I wanted to catch up so that when the pyramids come out, I could just get those done. And I'm just debating as to whether or not, and you'll see why later on, when I do the video for the pyramids, whether I'm going to buy one or two. If you buy one, it's got a flat back and it's kind of meant to be pushed back up against a wall. If you buy two, you can kind of use them as bookends. And I don't know, I was thinking maybe like the bookend concept might be fine, but they're kind of large, sort of like the Taj Mahal up there and some of these other larger sets. So I don't know fit-wise where they're going to go. But anyway, architecture sets, they're all done. They're all on display. I think this is pretty much how they're going to look. I might rearrange a little bit here and there, especially as new sets come out. But gonna kind of turn around here, give you a rundown of the shelving and what's on here and the sets and a few thoughts and things, and we'll go from there. So this is the architecture shelf. I've got all of the sets here. I'm going to kind of run down there and kind of just show you all of them. Some of them I bought, sort of brand new as they were released from Lego. And some of them I bought long after they retired. And so for some of the sets, I did not pay retail. I paid a little bit more. And in some cases, I actually paid less than retail because I bought some of them used. We'll get into the funny Space Needle thing. But sort of starting from the bottom here, these are actually some of the sets that I completed most recently. So one of the more recent sets is Singapore, which is right here, the Singapore skyline. I bought that new from Lego. And behind that, you've got Dubai, also purchased new from the Lego website. Got the Leaning Tower of Pisa, which I bought. It was a retired set. And actually, that was a used set, so I paid less than what retail was. You've got Paris and Shanghai, which I also bought new from the Lego website. We got the 2020 White House here, and we've seen the 2016 in a past video, but I'll go ahead and show that to you in a few minutes here. This was an interesting set. Oh, by the way, this one's actually more interesting. You'll see it actually covers the east and west wing, and I think I've probably shown this to you guys even in a past video, but and it's got sort of the representations of like the trees and the cherry blossom stuff and whatnot. So, and you can see a Secret Service agent. No, I'm just kidding. You don't have that. So, but anyway, this is Lego House. Not really a wide released architecture set, but kind of a cool one. It's a good representation of what the Lego headquarters looks like in Billund. Got Buckingham Palace in England. You got Villa Savoy. And then the Farnsworth House. Ooh, exciting. I love the Farnsworth House. It's one of my favorite architecture sets, actually. It's very simple. And I've always kind of wanted to, live in the Farnsworth House. But I would need to buy curtains because, I don't know, glass houses, walking around in your underwear, probably not a great thing. You got the Brandenburg Gate, okay? And then, of course, the Louvre in Paris. Couple of the skyscraper sets. These I also bought after they were retired, as I did the Great Wall of China. There's the Lincoln Memorial, my first attempt. I bought that new from Lego, or maybe I got it on Amazon, but it was not retired yet. We've got the clean Seattle Space Needle as opposed to the dirty Space Needle. I bought the Space Needle used and the pictures on eBay made it look like it was a very nice, clean set. And when it originally came, it was all put together and gross and disgusting, and I couldn't even clean it. So I ended up rebuying the needle, sort of new in the box from somebody, just to ensure that I got a nice set. I actually have the dirty Space Needle on my desk just as a kind of funny reminder. We've got Big Ben, Rockefeller Center, Lincoln Memorial, I said, San Francisco, Chicago, and Tokyo. So Tokyo and San Francisco I bought new. Chicago I had to buy retired, and I think I actually got that one new in the box as well. Up on the next shelf, we've got New York, which I got new from Lego. Berlin, which I bought as a retired set, so I got that one. I think I paid a little bit more than retail for that. And with Venice actually came as sort of a lot that I purchased of a couple of the architecture sets. And so I don't know, exactly price-wise whether I paid retail or not, but whatever. Eiffel Tower, one of the versions of the Burj Khalifa right here. Okay. Behind that, you've got the Willis Tower and the Sears Tower, which are exactly the same sets, except they just have different names because the Willis Tower is now what the Sears Tower is referred to now that Sears no longer owns it. Behind that, you've got a small rendering of the Empire State Building, and I'll show you the larger one above. And then behind that, you've got the John Hancock Center, the one in Chicago, not the one in Boston, which is the real cool one. Boo, Chicago. Woo, Boston. Yay. Vegas also purchased new from Lego, as well as London. And I think Sydney I got as a retired set, okay? We've got the Sun Yu Moon Gate, which is right here. I've done a specific video on that. We've got Trevi Fountain behind, which is actually kind of a cool build. One of my favorite parts of this was the sort of rendering of all of the water using these sort of translucent blue pieces. The Arc de Triomphe, also a retired set that I got. The United Nations headquarters, fun build, kind of repetitive when you got to the actual tower. Whoops, hang on. These were a pain to put on and get straight, and they still aren't straight, and I'm just going to give up on that. Behind that, we have the itty-bitty version of the Sydney Opera House. There is a massive creator expert version of this, which I owned and then traded with a friend for one of the Harry Potter sets, and I can't remember which one it was, but anyway. And then behind that is the 2016 White House, which you can see is far less detailed than the 2020 version of it. And then Marina Bay Sands. Okay, let's discuss this. This set, for what it is, if you want to buy it, it's a retired set, is ridiculously expensive. I don't understand why. Maybe they didn't produce a lot of them. I've never bothered to do the research on it. So this actually was not an official Lego set in the sense that it came in the box or whatever. The person I bought this from in Europe actually kind of sourced out all the parts and pieces for it. So it's all Lego pieces, but they just basically looked and said, okay, you need X numbers of these, and they went online and bought them. You need X numbers of these, they went online and bought them all sort of separately. And then they kind of put all the pieces together. I got the instructions online and basically built it. So this was one of the only sets that I've actually done that with in my actual entire collection, okay? So we've got right up here, we've got the Imperial Hotel. Very fun set to put together. Interesting techniques in terms of sort of sandwiching everything together in levels and layers. Robbie House, which I got it used in the box, and I'm trying to think if it's not one of the most expensive Lego architecture sets. It's certainly up there. I've seen it as much as $500 or $600. I didn't pay near that much because I bought mine used, so. See, right after this, we've got Trafalgar Square, okay, right here. And behind that, we have Falling Water, which I've done a separate video on. We've got, oh, sorry, I missed this one. We've got Baby Guggenheim Museum, and then Big Mama Guggenheim Museum. Much more detailed. They've got the little taxis in front, which is kind of nifty and neat. Much more detailed set. Definitely more appealing than the sort of smaller version. And then I think in front of that, you've got, what's this building? Oh, I don't know. Oh yeah, the US Capitol. My second set that I did ever. And this took me weeks to put together because it's all tiny little pieces, but I love this. It's very detailed, a very great rendering of the the actual Capitol building. All right. Over here, you've got another version of the Burj Khalifa. Interesting enough, there's actually two of these. I just bought one because they're exactly the same. They just re-released it, and I'm not sure why they did that. And then to the right of that is the Taj Mahal set, which came out, I think, a year ago. I think this might already be retired. It might still be available. I don't know. I bought it new. Interesting set. This is also another one of those sets like the Sydney Opera House and Big Ben, where there's a massive creator expert version, and I have that. And one day I will sit down and put that sucker together. We've got the big version of the Empire State Building, which has a giant hole in the top because I'm clumsy and knocked into something and it broke. Actually, the dog kind of broke it riding in the backseat of the car, and don't ask. And then last but not least, we've got the Statue of Liberty there, Lady Liberty. The big sort of to-do with this set is the fact that if you look at the face, it's kind of like they did this really cool detailed model and then they just sort of copped out and put this big flat plate right in the front. I don't know, not a big fan of that. There are some fixes online, like you can go on, you can actually kind of build a better looking face for Lady Liberty, but I don't know, I'm kind of more of an originalist. I try and stick to whatever the plan is, and you know, that's kind of what it is. So, all right. Oh, one other set that I forgot's hiding back here. Got the Flatiron Building, which I think actually was part of that Venice lot that I bought used and whatnot. So you get the Flatiron back here and whatnot. So I think that pretty much covers all of the architecture sets kind of down to the bottom. There's one other fun thing. I got a coffee table book, an architecture coffee table book. And it's sort of a visual guide. It only goes up through, I think, like 3/4 of them because that's when it was published. So there are a lot of sets that aren't in that architecture book, but it's kind of cool. You learn about the designers in that book and, you know, whatnot. So, yeah. So this is the architecture collection, and it is now complete. I might do some rearranging of things, but I think that this is pretty much the order in which they're going to stay. Of course, the Pyramids of Giza are coming, and I'm not really quite sure where I'm going to cram those in. Those might end up on the top, and I might just do some kind of compressing of things to get them down. And there are going to be more architecture sets in the future. I'm hoping that they're going to do some more skylines because those are definitely, very interesting to look at and very interesting builds. They use a lot of very cool techniques with pins and fasteners and things, so it's very interesting stuff. And yeah, there you have it, the complete Lego architecture collection here on the Lego shelves in the Lego room. All right, thanks for watching today's episode. A little sneak preview of what's coming up later in the week, maybe even tomorrow. I'm actually standing in front of the 5 out of the 7 Speed Champions cars that are released this year. The other 2 are in process at home. They are, I believe, Mercedes. So we've got a Lotus, we've got an Aston Martin, we've got a Ferrari, we've got another Aston Martin, and my favorite, the Lamborghini Countach. Yay, from Cannonball Run. Child of the 80s. Call me crazy. But anyway, going to be showing you those. And we'll just run down too all of the other Speed Champions cars that we've got. There are 2 more coming out here in a couple of weeks. The Aston Martin DB7 or DB5 from James Bond. And they actually already did a version of it with Creator Expert right there. So they're doing a Speed Champions version. And then they're doing a Dom's Dodge Charger, which they also did a version of in Technic. So we're getting sort of 2 kind of repeat vehicles. They're licensed to movies, Fast and the Furious and James Bond. And there are already versions of them, larger versions of them. So it's going to be very interesting to see them. I've seen a couple of videos online. I've seen a few pictures. They look like they're real good. So I can't wait to get those and add them to the Speed Champions collection. I've got some lucite risers like I do with the architecture sets. So I can kind of start to elevate and add more to the Speed Champions shelves because the Speed Champion shelves are full. And I don't have any room for these, 8 stud wide cars on the shelves anymore. So anyway, very cool stuff. I'm very excited. So later this week, hopefully we'll get a video together, show you the rest of the Speed Champions. Thank you for watching. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe, like any one of my videos and watch them and leave comments. I answered all of them, and share my content with your friends. We're trying to get the subscribers up there. I think we're at like 145, 146 subscribers, which is fantastic. Try to get maybe up to, 200, 250, maybe 1,000. If I get to 1,000, I get a new camera. That's an incentive for me, not necessarily for you, but anyway, thanks for watching. Have a great day.